Indeed, we do have Zizi Kodwa who will be reacting on what has transpired here today. Many people are happy, others are sad, others are very happy with the outcome. It was a contest of ANC members and leaders, branch delegates exercising their constitutional right of being nominated and being elected. It's over now, it's done and dusted. There is the newly elected leadership of the ANC. The biggest task begins of renewing the weekly, or rather the already divided ANC, the ANC that is facing so many challenges. It doesn't matter really who emerged. The challenges that the governing party is facing are the same. I'm going to ask Zizi Kodwa to join me here. Zizi Kodwa is an NEC member. Zizi, thank you very much for your time. Well, you are the former NEC member. You have not been re-elected. But let's talk about the outcome of today. Surely you must be happy. You are one of those who believe in the leadership perspective of President Cyril Ramaphosa. He is back. What is the biggest task now of unifying and reuniting a deeply divided ANC?
Obviously, the outcome Goge of 2017, which was a zebra, to a very greater extent, it immobilized the president. So a bit of a setback, moving very slow in terms of decisions, balancing. I have to look over his shoulders at times. I think this conference, what it has done, overwhelmingly, it will reaffirm him. And I don't think there will be any excuse, from my point of view of leadership of the ANC as well of the country, him now, in terms of renewal of the African National Congress and broadly of South Africa. So they gave him overwhelmingly, and we expect decisiveness from his part as the president of the ANC.
Decisiveness in what sense?
There were times where even the president could manage that he would have wanted to take a certain decision, but even when they presented as officials and reported to the NWC, you could see this matter they did not agree as officials. That top seven is a top seven of pit bulls, political speaking. People, I think he doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Decisively, it's people with a very energetic young secretary who will be the lot of innovation. He's been around for the longest time. And I think whatever decision he would like to make, he should consider, he shouldn't be considering that he's balancing factions in the ANC. I think that time is gone. That our president who balancing factions in the ANC, he must take decisions.
And one of those decisions will be to rebuild the ANC, reunite the ANC. You are talking about all those leaders who are part of the top officials there, the top seven. But if you look at all of them, excluding the second deputy secretary general and the treasurer general, they have been in leadership positions within the ANC, and the ANC has been facing electoral decline with those leading.
Absolutely. I think one of the acknowledgements we make, both in the political report of the president and the organizational report, is that internally there are things that obviously internally in the ANC we needed to correct. We identified this phenomenon, Siphamandla Goge, in 2015 when we gathered at the NGC in Kalaka State, that there were new permutations in the phenomenon in the ANC. Obviously, the issue of the image, the integrity, the issues of corruption, the issues of how we run the state. At the moment, majority of South Africans are in darkness because of load shedding. We are going to Christmas.
Through ANC-led government that has failed to deal with load shedding and ESCOM challenges.
It's absolutely. And I'm saying the point we make is that there are issues that characterize the state of the nation today. The issues of high cost of living, unemployment, there's lawlessness, there's a feeling of lawlessness throughout the country. People are looking at this conference to come with concrete interventions to make sure that we reverse the issues of the state of the nation.
But this conference will not change much of those things that you are mentioning, because they have been there before. You have resolved on them, but you have not addressed all those challenges. So South Africans may look forward to the outcome of this conference, but nothing much will change. This was just ANC members exercising their constitutional right. Yes, you are the governing party, but you have been struggling to eradicate all these challenges that you are mentioning.
Look, some of the challenges we face as a country, Goge, are not of our own making. They are external to the African National Congress, but also they are external. For example, the impact of a war which we are not participating.
Which is relatively new. These challenges have been there before the war.
I'm just giving you an example. The economy has not been growing, has not recovered since the 2008. And I think these are the issues that I think as a country and the leadership, but You need a decisive leadership, among others, Goge, to address these issues. That's why I'm saying the president has no excuse now. This conference having endorsed him overwhelmingly, he must be a president that is decisive in the interest of millions of South Africans who look up to him to change their lives.
He must put the interest of the country first. He must stop playing internal ANC factional politics now, because there is too much at stake.
I agree with you. You just took words out of my mouth.
But is this the best you can offer ANC members, this collective leadership that has been elected here? You have a president who has a cloud hanging over his head. You've got some of the leaders in that top 7 who still have issues of credibility and integrity. In terms of clean governance and the image of the ANC, is this the best you could offer? I understand that you had a choice of choosing between 2 scandal-plagued leaders, Dr. Zweli Mkhize and President Ramaphosa, but is this the best you could offer?
Look, we must accept that as we renew the African National Congress, it's not like one organization of saints and angels. Of course, we do come across those difficulties, Goge, that we're crossing the river by touching the stones. In some instances, renewal has brought us to uncharted waters. That you find that, but let's allow the issues that are before law enforcement agencies, those issues be dealt with. And I don't want to preempt what will be the outcome of some of those issues which are being investigated. Some of them are before the courts.
Your president is not done with this challenge of Phala Phala. It's far from over. Moving forward, the new NEC will have to deal with the report of the Integrity Commission. How do you think this should be navigated around? Because clearly this scandal is not going away.
There won't be any cover-up. There won't be any cover-up. We're allowing him space to deal with that issue, the president. Should there be any adverse about that issue, the new NEC will have to deal with that issue decisively. But I can assure you there won't be any cover-ups.
Have you spoken to the president? How is he feeling?
He's elated. He's happy. The last time you asked me this question, I said I just arrived. He's in the meetings, excited, and I think he's looking forward to make sure that the several people who know as a unionist, whom we were told was a very strong and decisive, is what we want that Cyril now.
I know Fikile Mbalula has joked that today you are the spokesperson of the ANC, a task that you performed before. I know after the election of NEC members, there has to be a reconfiguration of the executive, because the newly elected deputy president of the ANC will have to be included, and some NEC members will make that. What is the president saying about that? I know it's too early, but it's coming.
I left the stage. Like a good dancer knows when to leave the stage. I'm not looking forward to go back to the stage. And I think there are many capable men and women in the ANC who could do better than what I did when I was in the NEC. I think the new NEC that is emerged, it will be, among others, much younger, new ideas, new innovation. You should expect a much brilliant young spokesperson, very skillful, that will also reflect the composite body of the African National Congress.
The outcome of this conference means that when it comes to the status, the ANC is the governing party, there has to be some changes and reconfiguration. Is that something that the president is already thinking about?
I can't read his mind. I wish I can give you a direct answer to that, but I would imagine that whatever happens, he will do so to strengthen his own government in the interest of the people of South Africa.
In closing, do you think this leadership collective will take you to 2024 and win you the elections? Because that is the most important aspect of it. Renew the ANC, win the elections, but by the look of things, it's going to be a tall order.
Since 1994, we've heard that the ANC will lose elections, and the ANC has been winning. We have no doubt that we'll do our best. We are not invincible, and we don't take it for granted that South Africans, it's not archival history that will make South Africans or ANC to win election. It's not about sloganizing about who was these prominent leaders in the ANC. We must change the lives of ordinary South Africans so that they can feel that the ANC, their lives have changed under the leadership of the ANC.
Thank you very much for your time, Baba. That is Zizi Kodwa. Good enough, basically reflecting on the outcome of this conference of the ANC and the newly elected leadership. I was hoping to get ANC head of presidency, Sibongile Pesane, but he has had to be engaged in one of the engagements. So with that, we'll have to take it back to you in studio.